Attorney General Rayfield, thank you so much for making time for us. I know you're very busy right now. I do want to ask you, is the shutdown going to impact the speed at which this case is heard? I hear the Department of Justice is trying to push some of these cases off.
We're not under the impression right now that the shutdown is going to impact the speed with which this is heard. I think you have an incredibly emergent issue here in Oregon, and I think the Judicial Department is going to work expeditiously to make sure that we get a result in this sooner than later.
And after let's say the temporary, the TRO is granted, what comes next?
Likely what would happen if the temporary restraining order is granted, you have this immediate pause of the president's actions and orders under these circumstances. The guess is that the federal government would appeal that stay, and that would then move to the Ninth Circuit.
Also, Attorney General, we just got word that four counties are being sued in this greater Portland area for not enforcing immigration law. Are you going to be part of the legal battle that ensues there?
And I haven't actually, you're the first person that's told me about that. I've been in meetings all day, so I haven't heard that yet.
It's just been filed, so that'll be interesting. I want to ask you about some of the arguments you've made in the TRO filing. It says the Portland police are doing their job, they don't need the help. What do you say to people who say Portland police are not at the protests and they're not actually making as many arrests as, let's say, the FBI is?
I don't think the facts bear those allegations out. And if you look at the very beginning of the year to now, if you look at violent crime in the city of Portland, it's down 51%. So you have a lot of positive metrics. You get the Portland Police, you have the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office, you have the Oregon State Police, and you have the District Attorney. And you have one building in Portland, and you have the United States military, the National Guard coming into the city of Portland. That's not normal. That's un-American. We have ample resources. And if people really cared about public safety, and by real people, I mean President Trump, you'd pick up the phone, you'd have a conversation, and you would ask, are the facts as I see them on social media the same as what's really going on? And then you would then move to the next set of questions would be, if it is, how can I help? And what you know in every city and every community across this state, the last thing they're going to say is, you know what I need is the U.S. military coming in who aren't even trained in the type of allegations that the president has seen on social media. So it's a little bit silly, the response. The response is probably more aimed at trying to score a political win than an actual meaningful outcome under these circumstances.
Attorney General, you're arguing that Title 10 is not properly invoked here. What do you say to people who say, well, it should be invoked at least to protect the federal buildings?
Well, here's the thing. It's not normal to use the U.S. military in our cities. It's normal in third world countries. It's not normal in the United States. And the reason it's not normal is because you have these sideboards, statutory sideboards, that the president can only federalize the National Guard under certain circumstances. And those things are pretty common sense, right? Is there an invasion? Well, we don't have an invasion in Portland. Is there a rebellion? We don't have a rebellion. And can the president effectuate the laws of the United States? And right now, there's been absolutely no evidence to say that ICE has been unable to effectuate the laws of the United States here in Oregon. None of those conditions present themselves. And that is what the crux of the lawsuit is about.
And I know in the lawsuit you discuss how the Oregon, the Guard here in Oregon is not just beholden to the country, but to the state of Oregon. Is there an argument that by invoking their presence here, they're commandeering?
Yeah, so when the president sits there and attempts to claim that he is federalizing the Guard under Title 10 when he doesn't have the authority, there's a reality and an impact in Oregon because these troops also serve, and they're Oregonians, but they serve the state of Oregon at the same time, which then takes away resources from the governor should we have a natural disaster or there's other issues. At the same time, we're also wasting our federal taxpayer dollars in excess of $3 million. We have ample police forces, we have here in this state, and we have accountability that is already going on here in this state when people do violate the laws.
And my colleague Summer has some questions for you.
I was mainly wondering about the lawsuit that was just filed by the United States
Oh, I
against
can't
the
hear you for some reason.
Oh, sorry. I was saying I was just mainly wondering about the lawsuit that was just filed, but I heard you were not aware until now against the four counties. It was Multnomah, Washington, Clackamas, and Marion. So I'm sure we'll expect a press release once you do get to see it.
Absolutely. And was this a lawsuit that was filed by the federal government
It
or?
just says the United States. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to look at that yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have the TRO and you have also a bunch of consumer stuff you're doing. Any other federal related lawsuits that we should keep on our radar?
As there are a ton, obviously, we're going to be in the Supreme Court next month. So that's obvious a big moment for Oregon in the tariffs case. Looking forward to that. And there's a handful of other cases that have gone on since Friday that are kind of trickling through the courts.